What's up, guys? This is Quadron. I'm bringing you the first episode of a series where I'm going to basically teach you how to fly in ESF. Keep in mind, these have extremely high learning curves, learning to fly a Mosquito, Scythe, or Reaver. Those are ESF stands for Empire Specific Fighter. I'm going to take you through the controls I've remapped, everything I recommend for you to get on your Reaver, basic flight maneuvers, and more advanced flight maneuvers and flying tactics. So those are going to be some more videos I'm going to be bringing you in the future. But this video is going to focus on getting up, getting in your Reaver, getting started, and then also just a couple basic advanced maneuvers that you need to at least be aware of from the get-go. You may not be able to use them right away, but you'll certainly need to know about them right away. Okay, so to start with, before you do anything, you want to go to your key bindings. You need to remap a couple of things. Okay, so to go to your key bindings, go to General, Key Binding, Aircraft. Here we are. Now here's pitch up and pitch down. I have them mapped to E and Q. Now you don't have to map them to E and Q. I do recommend for you to do that, but some people also map them to the mouse thumb button for up and down. So like there's usually two thumb buttons on a lot of mice. You can map those for E and Q, or a pitch up, pitch down. So pitch up makes your nose go up into the sky, pitch down makes your nose go down into the ground, but you want to make sure you map those to something that you can press on a regular basis, because you're going to need those whenever you're flying, for whether you're flying Liberator, Galaxy, or ESF. Okay, what else do you need to remap? There's two other things that I recommend remapping. The second thing is the rolling right. I recommend rolling right, or I recommend remapping rolling right, just simply because you'll be able to use that to kind of corkscrew yourself out of certain situations that it would be hard to do that many corkscrews in a row just using your mouse. So that's a potential option as well. I have it mapped to G, and this is also a really important remap key. This exit vehicle. This is like kind of the last one. Normally this is mapped to E, so you're going to have to remap this no matter what if you map your pitch up to E. So I have this mapped to K, okay? So basically I originally remapped this to G. I accidentally pressed it several times. I flew out of my Reaver. It was really frustrating. Then I mapped it to J, and I did the same thing. So eventually I moved it to K, which is far enough away from all the other keys that I use regularly that I'm not going to accidentally press it. So the most important thing is that you're not accidentally pressing the button. Fair enough? Fair enough. The last thing you want to check on your settings tab is whether or not you want it to have inverted vertical fly. If you want it to be inverted, you're going to want to check it. So that means if I pull my mouse towards me, my nose is going to go up into the sky. If I push my mouse away from me, it's going to go down into the ground. So that's what inverted flies means. And the last thing you're going to want to check is your flight vehicle sensitivity. Now you're going to want this to be at a comfortable place. For whenever you're aiming, you want it to be basically, whenever you're aiming, you want to be able to comfortably move your nose up and down to be able to find targets, okay? Now, some people recommend maxing this. I don't think that's good, because you're going to end up jumping your mouse above and below enemy airplanes. But ultimately, if you have big sweeping turns, and like if you need a consistent pitch up or pitch down, you want to use E and Q for that, and then you want to use your mouse to do precision aiming. Does that make sense? If not, I'll show you in a bit, and maybe it'll make sense in a second. So, alright, here is my Reaver. This is the new conglomerate version. I have this decked out with maximum certs for basically everything. I'm currently running an M30 Mustang with Scout Radar. That's what that is on the back. You're not going to have that whenever you start yours. I also am running afterburner tanks, which I don't think you can see, but I'm running also these fins right here. These are specialized. And then this is also a specialized canopy. So you can customize your Reaver and your other ESFs, which is, I think, a really cool thing. Okay, so you get in your Reaver for the first time. You're going to be kind of gliding. What you want to do is glide to a stop. Once you slow down below 50 kilometers per hour, you're going to start you're going to start descending. So you just want to kind of descend to the ground, and you'll land just fine. Okay. Now you want to get the basic keys down first. W makes you go forward, okay? You press W, you'll take off and start moving forward. You press S, you'll start slowing down to a stop. Okay? Keep in mind that if you hold down S, you're going to be hovering like 15 feet off the ground. It's never going to actually land. So in order to land, you have to let go of S. That's something I was making that mistake when I first started flying. So yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take off here, W. Now I'm going to use my mouse, tilt up into the sky a little bit, get some altitude. Now, when I move my mouse to the left and right, it's good. Notice how it turns my aircraft. Now I'm going to press E. E, pitching up, so I'm going to be able to do a full turn. E, doing a full 360. And now I'm going to go back towards where I was here. And I'm going to slow down. Now, whenever you're slowing down and you start falling, you can press spacebar. Spacebar is your vertical lift. It'll make you go up in the sky, straight up in the sky. If you press C, it'll make you descend to the ground. I don't know what this reaver is doing out here. Okay, so I'm up in the sky. I'm hovering level horizontal. If you want to move left and right, you can press A to use your rudder to turn left, D to use your rudder to turn right, and I'm tapping spacebar to maintain my my vertical height. Okay. Now, if you want to descend, you can press C. Okay. So I'm going to take a quick flight around the tech plant over here. The last thing that I just did there is afterburner. So I pressed Shift to afterburner. So I'm gonna move my mouse down. I'm gonna press A to turn over. I'm gonna go fly through this little pipe area. I'm just using my rudder here, and now I'm gonna tilt up and use my yaw. I'm gonna turn this down right here. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna bank upwards. I'm gonna roll, bank upwards again, and I'm just gonna do a circle here, going through some of these buildings. And I recommend for you to do this. Like, this is good practice. And I know that they're probably gonna have the VR training area up soon, so you're gonna be able to practice this without having to waste your resources, which is really useful. So I'm gonna go ahead and just press E, do a backflip. Now that I'm upside down, I'm gonna flip over, and I'm gonna go ahead and land on the pad over here. Whenever I'm landing, I usually go to external view. I think it helps me to make sure I'm on the pad fully and everything. So it's just a habit I got into. So I'm on the pad. I'm landed. What other things do you need to know about how to fly? Okay, so 2 more advanced maneuvers, but that are really important for you to know. And so a lot of even advanced players may not know the first one. So first thing I'm going to show you is the yaw turn. So this is me just pitched or rolled sideways, flying straight. Now I'm going to use my E button to do a full 360 turn. Okay, notice how fast I'm going. Not that slow. You'll turn decently fast just by pressing E and holding it down. The last thing, or the thing that I want to point out though, is that if you press your yaw button, which is your D in this case by default, so basically it activates your rudder. Notice how I'm going to start going into the ground, okay? But if I tilt my wings upwards a little bit and press yaw, there's a point where I'll maintain my altitude. But at the same time, I'm going to be turning faster. So what you want to do these faster turns, I'm gonna straighten out here just so you guys don't get dizzy. Okay, so notice where the tech plant is right now. I'm gonna do 1 turn, and then I'm gonna start doing yaw turns, okay? So I'm just using my pitch up right now. I'm gonna do 2 turns here, okay? So now I'm gonna start doing a yaw turn by pressing D and tilting my wing sideways, and I turn faster. This will make you turn roughly 10% faster, which may not seem like much, but it's something that's gonna be really important when you're in a dogfight. If you can turn 10% faster, that means you get on their tail and they don't get on yours, okay? And you can do this either direction. You press D to do right banking turns, and you press E plus D, E plus D to do right side banking turns, and E plus A to do left banking turns. Okay, does that make sense? E basically is pitch up, and then you want to use your rudder left whenever you're doing left yaw turns. Okay, so I think I've beat this turn, how to turn to death. Let me go ahead and show you one fairly advanced maneuver that you will not master right away, but it's something that's awesome and you will eventually want to master. It's called the reverse thrust maneuver. Okay, so notice how my thruster jets are pointed straight at the ground. Now I'm going to hit spacebar to use my vertical thruster jets, and then I'm going to slide to the left. Okay, notice I'm getting momentum going to the left. Now I'm going to pitch down, and now because I pitched down, the direction I was going becomes the backwards direction. See that? So I went backwards for a second. So I'm turning sideways, pitching down, leveling out. Now if you add afterburner into this, you can go backwards really fast. And this is called the reverse thrust maneuver. So I'm going to hit spacebar, I'm going to hit afterburner, and then I'm going to tilt down. Notice I'm going backwards really fast. This is something that you can use to get a jump on your opponents, turn around mid-flight. And keep in mind, you can't really turn around mid-flight. In order to do this maneuver, you have to come to below 50 kilometers per hour where your jets turn downwards, and then you can start it. Okay? But for example, one way that I use this in a fight is, like, let's say I'm in a dogfight. I've got a guy on my tail. He's really hard on me, hard up on me. Okay, that sounded totally gay. Moving on. Oh God. Okay, all right, moving on. All right, here we go. All right, totally moving on. All right, so I've got a guy chasing me. I'm doing circles around the tech plant, but he's still right on top of me. So what I'm gonna do, I usually afterburner for about 2 or 3 seconds, want to get away from him, and then I come to a stop once I know that I've broken sight, and I tip upside down, like vertical like this, and I try to hug a wall. Okay, so I try to like hug a wall, and now once he comes, let's say he was following me, I hit spacebar, afterburner, look down, and blast him, like as he comes following me. Okay, so I'm gonna try that live time. I'm gonna do it on the other side of the tech plant. So I'm coming through, I break line of sight, I slow down, I pitch up, and I usually go to external view for this, and then I jam the afterburner, go backwards, and as he comes through and follows me, I can blast him. So that's one really practical use of using a reverse thrust maneuver in a fairly easy to do scenario once you practice it a whole bunch. And you can see there I clip my wing there, and it's not an easy thing to do, but it's certainly doable with some practice. So guys, that's the basic guide. Keep in mind, this is one video in a series of videos. The next video I recommend you go checking out is the Reaver Loadouts Guide, which talks about basically everything that I recommend getting on your Reaver and why, and all the different options and builds you can do on your Reaver. So recommend going to that video next. You can also check out some of the gameplay videos of me just playing around, or some of the videos I have discussing certain weapons like the M30. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll be posting more videos soon, hopefully with some more advanced guides on how to do some specific maneuvers that are really useful in combat. Anyway, oh, one more thing. There's also a reverse thrust maneuver guide that I have up on my channel. I'll have links to that in the description, and you can also check that out by searching on my channel. And I go through a really detailed explanation of how to do a reverse thrust maneuver. So if you're confused still on how to do that, you're going to want to go check that out on my channel. So I will catch you guys next time. Peace out.